It's a pleasure having you here, Mr. Solomon Musa. Good morning to you. Thank you for always coming on time. We are going to wait a bit for others, but while we wait, we're going to start a bit of chit chat. And I do hope that you are getting some value from our sessions. Thank you. I can see you wrote good morning, Tolu. Good morning to you too, Mr. Solomon. So we do hope that you are getting value from the sessions that we have been having, looking at the market. Now, one thing I always tell people that it's not compulsory for you to jump into the market all the time. It's for you to understand the market, and then it will help you to know exactly when to enter and when not to enter. Okay, great. I can see you wrote huge value as well. Thank you for that. Yes, indeed. So today we're also going to be conducting live market analysis as we did yesterday, Tuesday, and also Monday. We're going to be doing the same thing today. We'll talk about a few things that happened yesterday, and of course, how everything will be, or how everything was painted on the chart. Because we always say that seeing is believing, and of course, you will tend to see everything on your chart at the end of the day. You're going to obviously be looking at the charts a lot, as this is the live market analysis session with 10 trade, right? Let's continue to dive in a bit further, and then hopefully others, they come in good time, and they get the information that we have for them and for you, for everybody at the end of the day, right? Okay, great. So now, if you have a look at what has been happening this week, you'll notice that the first thing we've been talking about, and I'm just going to switch the slides quickly. I'm going to switch the slides quickly to that point where we said you need to first of all check for the upcoming news. So people don't understand the importance of checking on news, right? Especially the high impact news. The truth now is that the high impact news is what normally introduces high volatility to the market. I repeat, this is what normally introduces high volatility to the market. So if you know, as an example, right, if you know there's going to be like a tsunami or an earthquake or something of that sort that is coming at a particular time, then you will know how to protect yourself. But then some traders, they just want to try to trade it and try to make money. But one thing everybody needs to understand is that protection, account protection is very, very important. And that's what we should all be doing. I've gone a week, 2 weeks plus without having a trade. It's not because I did not want to trade, but it's because the market did not give me any opportunity to jump into the market, right? So if the market does not give me any opportunity, there's nothing I can do. I need to exercise patience. And that is one of the biggest problems for a lot of traders today. Lack of patience. They are impatient. And apart from patience, discipline, lack of discipline. So a whole lot of things that traders are doing wrongly that need to be adjusted, need to be corrected, right? Great. So as we said, check for upcoming news. Yesterday, we had a very key data that we talked about a bit, and that was the CPI, the Consumer Price Index. That came out at 2:30 p.m., right? And at that 2:30 p.m., if you look at your instruments, your currency pairs, especially those that had the USD in them, you'll notice something. You notice that the volatility was high, spread increased, and you would even notice the type of candles that was formed. At that point in time, you had a very big candle that looked like a doji. It was more like a spinning top, right? You would also need to get a bit conversant with a few of these candlestick price action candlestick formations, as it will help you out at the end of the day, right? You're welcome, Linda Asifo. You're welcome. It's a pleasure having you here as well. Hopefully others to join us in good time, and then they try to take advantage of all of this information. You can also ask us the instruments that you are looking at, and then we can look at it together as we proceed, right? So check your maps, check your charts, your Forex factory rather, for any high impact upcoming news, because a lot of things happen around that period due to the volatility. And then the next thing to do is to map out your charts. When you're mapping out your charts, some things that we normally do, we map out our charts and then you can leave it that way for days and maybe even a few weeks, depending on the time frame and a few parameters as well, right? Once in a while, you can be making adjustments as the price tends to move. As the price moves, time moves, you'll notice that the charts keep on moving to the left hand, and you might need to make some small adjustments here and there. But all in all, you have already mapped out your charts. It's just the minor adjustments as price tends to do its thing, right? And then you wait for price reaction. How is the price going to react to that area? Is it going to respect the area and slow down? Or is it going to smash through? Is it going to break through, right? So when you wait for the reaction, you wait for the price reaction at that level, the next thing, you now wait for your trigger in order for you to enter. So that is the entry, and then you set your stop loss, which is the exit. Stop loss is an exit. Take profit tool is an exit as well. The stop loss is an exit for a loss, while the take profit is an exit for profit. Yeah, welcome, Stephen Ojo. It's a pleasure having you here, right? So that is that for entry and exit. So that's why we always try to refer back to this. So at least worst case scenario, this can be stuck in you. It can become a part of you. And this will obviously help you out for your psychology. The psychology of trading is something that is very, very important and not talked about enough. When it comes to psychology of trading, once you follow your rules, I repeat, once you follow your trading rules appropriately, the psychology of trading should go smoothly according to plan. And when it comes to psychology, that's where we talk about control of your emotions, how to control your emotions, right? Which is very, very important. Your has to do with the attitude of the trader, has to do with the behavior of the trader. That's why it's called psychology. Psychology has to do with the study of the human mind. And psychology is in everything in life. It's in trading, it's in our academics, it's in a whole lot of things. As a matter of fact, one thing we normally do is to tell you from the very beginning that you can be successful. And that will play a good role and a long role on our psychology, right? Kelechi Omer, you're welcome as well. Guys, you can also help us to post it up on your WhatsApp status that we have good numbers that come in today. I'm still waiting to have about 50 people here together where we're discussing, people are asking questions and all, right? So now, apart from this information we have right in front of us, don't forget we are going to flip back to the chart, and I'm going to explain one or two things on this chart based on what happened yesterday, right? So when we say based on what happened yesterday, if you remember, we had the CPI, which stands for the Consumer Price Index. I repeat, the Consumer Price Index, right? So that Consumer Price Index CPI that came out for the dollar, the USD, it was actually bullish. It was good for the dollar. And then you will notice that this Euro USD that we have right in front of us, it did something, it dropped, it tanked heavily. And that's why you can see this was the candle here. You can see I just mapped the area that it hit and then it dropped down. So this was the candle here. And if you cannot see the candle momentarily, I'm going to just zoom in so you can see the size of the candle. This was the candle over here based on the CPI. And we do hope that nobody got injured from the CPI from yesterday. Let us know so that we know how to help you out. I'm going to mention some things based on this news, the CPI from yesterday, and of course, how we can trade the proper way. As a lot of traders today, they are not going about the trading the proper way. And if you don't, you would easily have yourself to blame. I repeat, if you don't, you will easily have yourself to blame. And that's why I always advise traders, do not rush into the market. Once you rush into the market, most likely you'll be rushing out. So now let's quickly switch over to the Forex Factory, where we normally get our data And if you look very well, we now have the calendar for the entire week showing only the high impact. That's why you can see everything is red, right? Because we worked on the filter here to show only the high impact news. So yesterday, as you can see, yesterday was February 14, right? And you can see for the USD dollar that came out 2:30 p.m. If you look very well, it was here bullish. This was neutral, as black and in neutral. So this was bullish, and that means that we should be buying the USD. We should be buying the USD against other currencies. So when it comes to the Euro USD, it is now a thing of selling. We're supposed to be selling, and that's why if we cross to our charts now, we switch over to our chart, you'll notice something. You see that yes, indeed, it went down after that news came out. Now, we talk about key levels. Key levels are there for a reason. That's why they're called key levels, support and resistance, very, very important levels. And that's why if you look very well, yesterday, as you guys were here, these are still the charts, these are still the lines, support resistance lines that we drew from yesterday, right? And if you look over here, we had this area of support here acted as resistance, didn't quite get here, but still more or less showed that there were sellers here, and then it went down. And then lo and behold, now I'll tell you guys something. This is what I'm about to say now is something that helped my own trading to catapult to the next level, right? Now, you can see what happened over here. Price, the news came out here, and then price went to the tip, more or less to that area, that horizontal line that we drew, representing support and resistance from the past. It reacted to it, and then it dropped. So this was a very important area, and then we mentioned it yesterday that we could have a sell around here. The only thing now is that because of the news, it did not give us any candlestick pattern here for entry. But notwithstanding, the way I was able to build confidence in myself as a trader was whenever I drew all these my levels, support, resistance, and then the next thing, price will come back to respect it, right? Whether I entered or not, price will come back to respect it, and then that gave me a heads up, and it still gives me a heads up today, right? It gives me a heads up that, oh, so that I'm able to see what others are seeing, and then it just remains to pull the trigger. That's why we always advise that you attend our sessions, not just the live market analysis sessions. You also attend the beginners workshop, right? And which will be ongoing later today by 6 p.m., which will be conducted by Mr. Toby Okunuga. So do well to join us during that period as well. So a lot of things that we need to understand, I repeat, a lot of things that we need to understand about the market, how it moves, how it behaves, and then we can take advantage gradually. Still looking at this chart, look at our markings. These are our markings from yesterday. The only thing I added was this line here. Now look at what we have over here. You have this area of support. You have this area of support, right? And then look at what we have over here, support. Now look at where it is sitting. It is sitting at this same area of support now. So you would ask yourself, why is price struggling at this area? It's struggling here because it's an area of support. And one thing also you need to understand, I'm going to show you guys something as well, because when we do live market analysis every day, we are showing you how we are looking at the market. It's like you are watching the market, you're watching the charts over our shoulders. I'm going to show you guys something now which is very, very important, right? If you look very well, from about this area here all the way down, the market has been moving sideways. Yes, indeed, the market has been moving sideways. Sideways simply means consolidation. It simply means ranging. So this is what we've had over here on the Euro USD. You can see this is the same thing. You're welcome, Mr. Steven. Said good morning. Thank you. So you can see that this is the same thing that we drew from yesterday. And then our analysis is just a continuation of yesterday, right? So we normally say you don't need to necessarily be drawing your levels every day. Once you draw them at the beginning of the week, it's very key, or it's very possible rather, that drawing can last for the entire week, right? So these are things that we have done from yesterday, and we're just doing a follow-up on this as well. Don't forget news. You always check the news first of all. So we just showed you what happened yesterday and what we're looking at based on this Euro USD. So let's quickly check the news again. Let's quickly switch over to our calendar, and then we're going to look at the news when it's coming out for later today, right? So you can see the news for today, right? Today is Wednesday, February 15th. We had this one for the AUD, Australian dollar, that came out at 2 a.m. And we had at 8 a.m., we had the pounds, the CPI for pounds. You can go and check the pounds, what's the name? You can go and check the pounds currency pairs and look for the reaction, right? CPI, as we mentioned yesterday, CPI yesterday was for the dollar. Today, this morning at 8 a.m., the CPI was for the pound as well. So we can as well do this. You can see there is no value here for the actual, right? But let's go and find out, because this, I opened this a long time ago, right? And the news hadn't broken yet, right? So I opened it about, okay, sorry, my time is off for a particular reason. But look at it now. Once I refresh this page, now look at it now. Can you see what we have here? I'm going to show you guys something. Remember we said when you're placing trades, you always ensure you combine. It's a combination of the fundamentals and technicals. Look at what we had over here. You can see that we had 10.1%, but that's not even what is catching our attention. It is the color. The color is red. So that means that we're supposed to be what? We're supposed to be selling and selling the pounds. I repeat, we're supposed to be selling the pound, the what? The GBP. So as we are supposed to be selling the pounds, one thing you should always take note of is that when you have like GBP USD as an example, and you're selling the pound, what direction do you think the market is going to go? The market is going to go down, right? You have sell GBP, and then your currency pair is GBP USD. Okay, I can see something lengthy from Stephen Ojo. Just a second, I'm going to read it now for everybody to hear. I'm sure we can all see. I'm going to read it out for everybody to understand it better, and then we'll see how we can help you out if there's any issue whatsoever. So I'll just say now that we're selling the GBP, and in a currency pair, I repeat, in a currency pair like the GBP USD, the direction for the GBP USD is going to be down. The direction for the GBP USD is going to be down. Are we together? So now let's do something. We're going to switch back to our charts. We're going to switch back to our chart, and then we're going to see whether it obeyed what we just said now, because it needs to obey, right? Let's switch back to our chart. So on our charts now, you can see this is still Euro USD. I'm going to click on the GBP USD, which is this, and let's see what happened. Remember, we're expecting it to go down, and this is what we had over here. You can see it went down, right? And as it went down, this is the news, the candle over here, which came out at about an hour plus ago. So looking at what we have over here, you can see that it was down based on the sell GBP and GBP USD telling us to sell. But one thing now is that this candle was not at an area of resistance here. So it's not is at resistance that we tend to sell. So this one, we're not going to do anything, because this candle is purely based on the fundamentals, right? It's purely based on the fundamentals. For me, it's in the middle of nowhere, right? Here is where we have a level because of this here, where we have like a resistance, and then we have a support here, right? And then we have this one here as well, support. You can see a bunch of support areas here to support. That means that if the price should get here, it should now act as support as well, right? So looking at what we have in front of us, there was no trade at about 8 a.m. because there was no reason to click on sell. We click on sell at the resistance, but then it was not at the resistance, right? We need to understand the fundamentals and the technicals and then combine them together. Try your possible best not to rush. So this chart that we have here, GBP/USD 1 hour, there's nothing on the radar. The price is in the middle of this area here, of this support here, and this resistance. These are the key areas. Remember, we have always been saying that we should try to be trapping price. When we say trapping price, means that this is where the price is. Look for the significant key level above, and then look for the next significant key level below the price and see what happens, right? Which are two very important things. price above, or rather level above, and then level below as well. So this is the GBP USD, right? Based on the news that just came out. And don't forget, we also have what? We also have key data coming out later today. Let me switch back to the charts for just a quick second. We also have the retail sales, which is coming out Wednesday today. So we have retail sales, as you can see, for the USD. We have retail sales here, Empire State Manufacturing Index retail sales, as you can see, by 2:30. So expect possible volatility again around 2:30 p.m., just like yesterday's 2:30 p.m. Remember, that's the first thing we must always do, right? And that's why I always say after a while, this would become second nature to you. It's like you are conducting your regular rituals. When you wake up in the morning, you brush your teeth, you have your bath, you have your breakfast. That is something that we do every day, right? So as we do those kind of things every day, before you know it, you start to get used to this chart, you start to get used to how to follow the news, the things you need to check on when you need to check on them, right? Guys, if you can post this on your WhatsApp status, we need more people to join today, right? I know yesterday we had a higher number of people, but today, I'm not sure, maybe some people got injured, right? Maybe some people got injured from the CPI news from yesterday for the USD. Maybe some people even crashed account or whatever the case might have been. Let us know. We are happy to help out. And if you are here and you're having challenges, you can also comment as well. So Stephen Ojo's question, sorry, that took a while. Stephen Ojo said, I placed some trades. Some trades. Okay, interesting. I placed some trades yesterday. They tend to go my way, but I lost them all due to my stop loss. You can see that we are reading it slowly. We want to break down what Mr. Stephen Ojo said so that we can help him out. So this question is not for only me, it's for everybody here under this roof. So he said, I placed some trades, that's the first thing that caught my attention, some trades. I'm wondering how many. I placed some trades yesterday. They tend to go my way, but I lost them all due to my stop loss. They tend to hit the stop loss, then go back down the trend. I think I'm using two short stop loss. Aha. Now, I love the fact, listen to this, guys. I love the fact that Mr. Stephen Ojo is finding solutions inside his questions, inside his problems, right? He mentioned the part where, okay, fine, he had losses due to his stop loss. And then he said, due to his stop loss, he said something that they tend to hit my stop loss due to, he now said, I think I'm using too short stop loss. Too short stop loss simply means he's trying to say that using stop loss that is too tight, right? It's too tight. Can you please talk about how to see, okay, I believe you meant to say how to set stop loss. Okay, no problem whatsoever. We're going to do that for you guys. If you have any questions, this is a live session. Feel free to ask and we'll see what we can do. Now, for your question, I'm going to just use the previous chart, Euro USD. I'm going to use that to explain something to you. Right? I'm going to use this area here to explain to you. Now, let us assume, remember you're talking about how to set the stop loss. Now, let's assume here was the area of interest and you entered here to sell, meaning that you want the price to go down in your favor. You want the price to go down in your favor. The next thing now is, where will you set your stop loss, right? Where will you set your stop loss? You set your stop loss above, right? Above your entry. But the question now is, where above? You know you're going to set it above this level, this area of resistance. You're going to set it higher. But where exactly? Something you can do, you could use this trick, right? And I believe it works for some more than others, because I really don't know those that use it. Now, if your entry is here, you can place your stop loss. Can you see this candle here? Sorry, I didn't zoom in. If I zoom into my mess up what I have been drawing, we can see this candle over here. You can set your stop loss just above this one, or set your stop loss just above this one. You can see these two happen to be halfway into this area here, right? Halfway into this area here. right? But I wouldn't advise to set it too far, because if you set it too far, like here, this would be the size of your stop loss, which will be too big compared to if it was here. So if it was here, this would be the size, which is about half of this, right? So you are meant to be, and this is not just for only Mr. Stephen or George, it's for everybody. You are meant to set your stop loss at the other side of your entry. And then you can also do something. You can set it at the other side of that particular candle. I repeat, you can set it at the other side of that particular candle where you, or that you use for your entry. Remember the candles that we normally mention, like the engulfings, the hammers, the pin bars. You can set your stop loss at the other side. Okay, I can see a comment coming in from Madam Linda C4. For those just joining us, you're welcome. You're a bit late, but better late than never. We've been talking about what happened yesterday, a bit based on the CPI for the USD, and then we also have the retail sales for USD later today as well. We talked a bit about the news that came out for the pound, and of course how to combine it with the fundamentals and technical. So if you have any question, feel free to ask. Okay, Madam Leader said it is as if the system is seeing the stop loss immediately it hits it, it starts going the opposite way. Now I am smiling because let me read this again and I'll tell you why I'm smiling. Guys, let's read this together. Madam Leader Asifo said, it is as if the system is seeing the stop loss immediately it hits it, it starts going the opposite way. Stephen Ojo said, felt that way for me. Now, with what you are saying, I remember back then, years ago, traders used to say something. They used to say, because one thing I can tell you that traders don't like to blame themselves. People don't like to blame themselves. They always look for somebody to blame. So then traders will be saying, oh, this broker, I blame this broker, I blame that broker, and so on. The broker knows where I'm setting my stop loss. The broker is doing this, doing that, and so on. And then I normally tell traders, right, that whatever is happening here is more or less happening on another broker's feed. So you cannot say this broker is after you, because from what Madam Linda said, is as if this system, I like breaking people's sentences. When you say the system, what do you mean by the system, right? He said the system is seeing the stop loss. Immediately it hits it, then it starts going the opposite way. No, it simply means that the stop loss you are using is too tight. I repeat, like what we just said now, like what Stephen Ojo said himself, he answered this question himself. You are setting a stop loss that is too tight, right? One thing I always say, guys, listen to this carefully, please. Listen to this, right? And we discussed this in the beginners workshop as well. That's why I always refer back to the beginners, because most of the things that we talk about, we discussed them already in the beginners. Then the live market analysis is strictly for trading together, looking for trading opportunities and all, because you are already conversant with these things. Now, let me ask this question, and I need feedback from you guys. We have a handful of people now. So let me ask this question. Who has a trading journal? Who has a trading journal? I'm going to say something before you answer or while you are answering. Guys, you need to participate. If you are here and you are multitasking, you're doing something else, right? Trust me, what we have here for you is powerful, it is significant. I always remind you why you are here. You are here because you want to make money. Today is the 15th of, sorry, I was about to 15th of January, because it still feels like January. So just more or less yesterday. But today is the 15th of February. Yesterday was 14th, which is half of the month of February. Before you know it, the first quarter of the year is going to be over. Do you know what it means for the first quarter? That is January, February, March. Before you know it, March will be over. And then 1 quarter of the year, 2023, is over. What have we achieved? Have we grown? Have we gotten to where we feel we need to? These are things that we need to look at. And that's why we say you need to participate. Don't just be here and then don't just be looking at what we're doing. You need to participate, practice, 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 and then ask questions. Okay, Mr. Solomon said, I do. Awesome. Eric Favor said, I have a trading plan though. Okay, if you have a trading plan, that's good. Some people don't usually get the trading plan the proper way. But if you have a trading plan, good. And then if you have a trading journal, because the question was, do you have a trading journal? And Mr. Solomon is the only person that answered. Wow, I really don't know what to say. Well, Mr. Solomon is the only person that answered. I know by the time I say, okay, guys, you're going to get something, right? I'm sure a lot of us will start answering. Maybe we should test it. I'm going to be asking series of questions. Listen to this, guys. I'm going to be asking series of questions, and then the person that I see that is answering, maybe first or second, but is answering continuously, as in back to back. Trust me, later today, we might set something up between the two of us. You can also talk to your account manager. We'll set something up between the two of us. We can hop on a quick Zoom call, and then you quickly tell me the issues you are having, and I'll give you solutions, and then you go and work on them. They say that a problem known, listen, a problem known is a problem half solved. A problem known is a problem half solved. And then from the problem, you have the solution. For you to implement it, that is the other half. So I might just jump on a quick call. It might even be after this session. So we need you to, look, it's like we are begging you. We should not be begging you. You should be the one begging us. You are getting all of these things on a platter of gold for free, but you are not taking advantage of it. Okay, let me read. I have some other comments coming in. Now, for the first time today, somebody is replying, and that is Aribi Salah Temitokwe. Thank you for joining us. And now I've seen your name there for a while. And you said, please, sir, how can we get the trading journal? I'm going to explain to you the trading journal. I'm going to explain to you the trading journal now, and you can build your own trading journal. The trading journal, as the name implies, journal, right? What is a journal? A journal is what? Is a diary. It is record keeping. So what are you keeping records of? You are keeping records of your trades. Yes, you're keeping records of your trades. Now, you know when you take trades, you tend to get them from the account history, get them from the history over here, which is what I have just clicked on. I just clicked on the history here. You can see from this history here, you have a bunch of trades that have been taken, right? You have a bunch of trades that have been taken up till now. What you can do from that trading journal is to start to put down all of this information. As an example, the day of the week that you place the trades, the day of the week, whether it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, the time of the day, whether it is 8 a.m., 9 a.m., or whatever, and so on. And then put your stop loss, put your take profit, put the result. You must put the result of each trade, right? Put the result of each trade, and then also put some other parameters there as well, stop loss, take profits. So when you have this journal, and I'm using this to answer or to refer back to what Mr. Stephen Ojo and what Madam Linda Sifo said about the system is seeing the stop loss. This is what you will do with that trading journal. When you put your stop loss, let's say your average stop loss is like 15 pips on most of your trades, and you notice those trades are always getting knocked out and then they go in your favor after, then that means what? That means that you need to add a bit more of buffer. You need to add some buffer to that, what's the name? Add buffer to that, your stop loss. So instead of using 15 pips, why not use 17 pips or 20 pips? I'm going to say something now, and I hope you guys understand what I'm about to say next. Do you know that when you set a stop loss of 15 pips, it is not actually 15 pips stop loss that you are using, because you have not put into consideration the spread. Assuming the spread is 2 pips, I'm just using 2 pips, it could be for any instrument whatsoever. But assuming the spread is 2 pips and you use a stop loss of 15 pips, that means that what you are actually setting is what is 13 pips. I don't know that you guys understand where I'm coming from. So little things like this might be causing the trade to knock you out and then to continue without you. It happens. I still posted a trade yesterday of Euro AUD that I took. It was a short. It knocked me out for a bit and then went in my favor. And then what happened? I accepted it because there was a lot of spike yesterday on different instruments, right? So that's just to address those that mentioned the stop loss issue. And then I asked if you have a trading plan, rather a trading journal, because it's that trading journal that will help you to know, oh, so for this particular instrument or this my trading on this time frame or whatever, you notice that you have used this particular stop loss. So it is time for you to make adjustments. I repeat, it is time for you to make some slight adjustments, some slight tweaks, and then you will see for yourself the outcome. Okay, thank you. I just answered the question for Aribi Salah Temitope. Please let me know if that's clear enough. I said from the history, you can put down like the day of the week that you place the trade, whether it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, the instruments, the time of trade, the sell. You don't need to necessarily put everything here. Just put the key ones and then put some other things like observations, results, and so on, how you manage the trade, right? Great. So that's for Aribi Salah Temitope then. Stephen Ojo said, I started keeping mine last week. Beautiful. Let me ask you this question, Mr. Stephen Ojo. You started keeping a trading journal last week. Was this after attending the training with us 10 Trade? Was this after attending the training with us 10 Trade? Let me know. I'm going somewhere, whether it's yes or no. Then Aribi Salah Temitope says, should we write them down? You can write it down or preferably use Excel. I prefer to use Excel so you can easily query. Somebody said it's just joining now. Okay, not sure what you want us to do, but you're welcome, Mr. Basayo. You say you're just joining now. You are rather late, right? You can watch the recording. The good thing is that the recording of this live trading session, right, is going to be posted shortly on the YouTube. And that's why we always also say that it is best for you to follow us on the YouTube channel, follow us on the other social media handles like the Instagram, the Facebook, and the rest of them. Telegram group as well. Don't forget we have Telegram group. Okay, and Stephen Ojo said, yes, sir. Interesting. Said, yes, sir. So Stephen Ojo said, yes, sir, to the question where I said that, was it after joining our training last week? And he said, yes, sir. And I said, you talked about it in one of our classes. I write mine down too on a jotter. Awesome. So you can see, are you guys listening? You can see that Stephen Ojo started doing something after he learned it here under the 10 Trade roof. What does this mean? This simply means that you guys, what you are learning today under 10 Trade, you need, it's a thing of need and not want. You need to start to put them into practice, put them into effect at the end of the day. Very key, very important. Afalabi Adeni said, sir, do you have formats we can use? I just mentioned all of these ones here, right? Mentioned all these ones here. Guys, let me tell you guys something that I would mention now. I mentioned it last week and I mentioned it from time to time. There is one-on-one 30-minute session. I repeat, there is a one-on-one 30-minute session that you can attend with myself, Tolu, right? And you attend it based on you being eligible. How do you become eligible? You become eligible for that one-on-one session when you fund your account with a minimum of $500. The money is funding to your account, so you can trade that account later and so on. But that is what's going to make you to be eligible for us to sit down together and then have this conversation where your own audio would also be like mine. You'll be able to hear me and speak. I'll be able to hear you too and speak as well. It will be a one-on-one conversation because we are about 10, 11 here. We can't obviously turn on everybody's audio because it will start to get a bit noisy and rowdy and so on, right? So guys, try to take advantage of that one-on-one 30-minute session by funding your account with a minimum of $500. If you're interested, let me know now. You can type in the comment section that you're interested in that, and then we'll see how we can hook you up and book you for the next available opening for that. Okay, so let me clean up this chart here. I'll just look at a few more instruments, right? I'll just look at a few more instruments here. You look at the next thing here. Okay, we already talked about GBP/USD. You have the NZD/USD. Look at what the NZD/USD has been doing as well. And if you look at it very well from this here, you notice that we'll be having this range in this manner. We'll be having this range to show you that the market has been moving sideways, right? Sideways. Well, even though it's moving sideways, notwithstanding, you have what? You have something over here. You have this area here. If it goes up, this area should act as resistance and then drop further down where you can see support. You can see support. You can see a whole bunch of support here support here. You can see a whole bunch of support in this area here, and it has broken this area, and this is within, it's still within this major this major consolidation ranging market, as you can see in front of us. So we should be expecting price to go back to this place, test this area, and then drop, right? This is for the NZD USD. Don't forget, all of this is prior to the news coming out at 2:30 p.m. At 2:30 p.m., you need to trade with caution. Very, very key, very, very important, so that you don't lose more than expected, or you don't even crash your account. Because trust me, traders are crashing their account on a regular, and that should not be. And that's what we always say, you need to be here under the roof of 10 trade. Okay, we have a question here. Mr. Stephen just says, sir, how do we monitor the market if we have to enter a trade at the point where it hits our demand supply zone? Most times the candles be far gone from the zones. I need more insight to this. For me, right, that's why it's a live trading session. For me, I tend to set alert. I repeat, I tend to set alert. Your question again is, so how do we monitor? Monitor. I like breaking things down. Everything in life is English. So how do we monitor the market? Monitor the market. If we have to enter a trade at the point, if we want to enter a trade at the point where it hit our demand or supply zone. Demand or supply zone, as he mentioned, could also be referring to support and resistance, like what we have over here. We have something here. This is what I would do. I'll set a price alert. So I can easily, and unfortunately, let me say this before I continue. Unfortunately, you don't have the price alert for the mobile device, but for the laptop, you can do this. You can right click in that area here, as you can see, and if you go to trading, you can see alert. If I click on alert here, right, then over here, I go to alerts. You can see this alert is over here. This alert simply means that if the price should appreciate, if it goes up to this area here, resistance that I'm looking out for, then I should get an alert. It should make some noise, just like your phone or your clock or whatever the case might be. So that means that my monitoring, right, is not that I'm staring at the market or I'm checking every 5 minutes, 2 minutes. No, I set my price alert at that area because that is where I want to enter. It's like an individual that wants to enter the bus. Where will you enter the bus? Of course, to be at the bus park, to be at the bus terminal, or whatever you want to call it. So what does that mean? It is for you to go to where the bus is, and then you enter. Enter, very key. So when you set an alert like this, in this manner, the price will get there, hit it, trigger, come alive, make noise, and then I can come and attend to it. Hope you understand that, Mr. Stephen Ojo. Right? So most times the candle be far gone, has been far. This is our English. It actually might confuse me a bit. Most times the candles are far gone from the zones. I need more insight to this, sir. It means that you are missing and you're leaving money on the table. I hope what I just mentioned now on the price alert, hope you understand it first of all, because it is one thing to understand it, and then it is another thing to be able to implement it, okay? And you said, wow, nice, I used a mobile device, but that was helpful, sir. Okay, great. So by the time you switch over to the laptop, desktop, you know how to implement it at the end of the day. So it's easy, straightforward, and so on. And you can see we set this on AED USD, right? And this is it by AED USD. If I cross over to the next chart, maybe this one, or maybe the previous one, this one, and I want to sell somewhere here, or maybe anywhere, I can simply just go, move the mouse to that area, right click, go to trading, click on alert, and that is it over. You can see the arrow here, and you can see we have two now. We just set this one for NZD USD, so this is the NZD USD, right? So you just keep on setting your price alert. Make sure the volume on your audio is not too loud and not too low. It's a reasonable sound, right? Volume, and that's why for me, right, as a trader, I use it and I can go and take a nap, right? Go and take a nap. When price gets there, it will alert you. Doesn't mean that immediately price gets there, you should be looking for entry, right? Because price will get there, and then you need to wait for the price price action, right? Price action candles to form then you now try to jump in and then enter at the end of the day. Right. Thank you guys for your questions. Thank you. Thank you. We hope so far that the questions we've been able to do a bit of justice to them, and then hopefully they will help you to improve as well. But let's quickly do something. Let's quickly flip over because of time. Right. The ADUSD, we just talked about this one here, and looking at this as well from here. You can see here is an area of what we call support. Now you can see that it's bouncing from this support. Wow. This is happening right now as we speak. You can check your charts as well. And that's why I said, even if I don't get a trade, but because my support and resistance levels are spot on, right? As you can see, you would always be seeing the reaction to that area. And when you see the reaction to the area, it builds confidence in you. It allows you to become more confident in your trading. So if you look at everything that happens, you now know, oh, okay, so you can easily get an entry here to take it back up, or even maybe even higher, depending on what happens in the market for the rest of the week and even next week and so on. Right? So this is what we have over here for the AUD rather, for the AUD USD, which happens to be the Aussie. AUD USD happens to be the Aussie. And then we have USD JPY here. USD JPY, you can see what's happening here. It has pushed higher. It has pushed higher past these areas. And then I'll be expecting price to come back to this area or this area for me to go long, or rather for me to go long here, depending on the two. I can go and set my alert over here. I can right click over here, go to trading, set my alert, and then I'm good. Another thing I'll quickly talk about this so we can move on. If you double click on this, you can see you have maximum iterations. This iteration simply means that it's going to make that noise for 5 times and then it's over, right? But no, we want 1,000 times, and then we click on OK. After that 1,000 times, it simply means what? It simply means even if you are sleeping, you're a deep sleeper, don't worry, it will still make that noise and then wake you up at the end of the day. Okay, Eric Faber said, sir, this reaction on AUD/USD, what confirmation do we need to go into the market? The reaction on AUD/USD, let me go back to AUD/USD, right? Okay, this is AUD/USD. Don't forget, please, also, this trading is a leverage market, it's a leverage business, so it carries a high level of risk. So what we do here majorly, in as much as it is live trading sessions, you need to know how to properly calculate your stop loss, right? Properly calculate for your volume and all, right? You need to know how to do these other things and then combine them together. Because as you mentioned, what do we look out for at this point? What we look out for here at this point are those price action candles that we keep on mentioning. I repeat, those price action candles that we keep on mentioning in the class, right? So I'm going to switch over to the slide quickly, just switch over to the slide and then show you the candles that we have here. These are the 4 major candles that we have: the bearish pin and also the bearish engulfing are for selling, while the bullish hammer, right, or pin, the bullish hammer pin and the bullish engulfing are for buying. So you can see we have 2 here for buying and 2 here for selling. So that means that, okay, great. Now the entry that I'm looking out for on that chart, let's switch back to the chart now. Like this chart, this is the chart here. This entry that I want to do here is a buy, right? So because we want to buy, it's bullish. So we'll be looking for the bullish engulfing candle here, or the bullish pin bar, right? Or the bullish pin bar or hammer. So you need to understand what we're talking about here. Trust me, your trading will start to catapult and move to the next level. That's why we doing this every day is helping you, because we are in tune with the market. We are also looking for opportunities in the market. And of course, we're trading the market together, right? So there are lots and lots of advantages of working with 10 Trade, and you're going to get more information as we proceed as well. Okay, very key, very, very important. Hope for Eric Favor, we've answered your question where he said, sir, if this reaction on AUD/USD, if So this reaction on UDS, what confirmation do we need to go into the market? I just showed you the confirmations that we had, and then you would need to write them down. I repeat, you would need to write them down or draw them down. And you can always refer back to. Let's quickly flip over some other quick ones over here. As you can see, this is the Bitcoin, right? The BTC USD. Have you noticed that for a while, the Bitcoin has not been making so much noise, right, compared to last year? This is more or less the resting phase. This is the period where the cryptocurrency is resting before it picks up, right? And if you look at what we have right in front of us, what we want to do here, you can see the trend is more or less a downtrend. But what we want to do here is sell. Where are we supposed to sell? If you look closely here, selling will be here, where we can get a nice reaction and then get a nice PA trigger to sell it back to these lows here. Of course, you'll be keeping an eye, watching the other areas here of support. You can see it didn't quite get here, and then support here as well. So once you are using like your simple support and resistance areas and resistance levels, it's going to help you, I repeat, it's going to help you to look at the market, going to help you to place the market the proper way, place trade on the market the proper way, and so on, right? We're gradually coming to an end, guys. So please pay attention to all this chart that we have drawn now. I will say if you want to take a screenshot or whatever the case might be, kindly do it, and then let's continue. Eric Favor said, yes, sir, can we consider the momentum candle a price reaction candle? When you say momentum candle, right? For momentum candle, what kind of candle is that? Is it just a big bullish or a big bearish candle? Because that is not sufficient enough, right? It's not sufficient enough. You said, can we consider the momentum candle, or do you mean based on the candle from news, how fast it goes or something to that area? Then can we consider the momentum candle a price reaction candle? Oh, sorry, a price reaction. Yes, of course, there can be a price reaction candle. Yes, sorry about that. Let's write it again. I thought I was reading it in another way. He said, can we consider the momentum candle? Momentum candle could be like this one here. Let me just highlight if I really see. This is a momentum candle based on news, right? I believe that's what you're talking about. And he said a price reaction. Yes, of course, a reaction. A bullish momentum candle or bearish momentum candle, depending on how you're looking at it. Yes, of course, right? Yes, of course, they are price reaction. As a price reaction, they are not necessarily price trigger, right? I can even tell you something that some traders use price reaction in another way for price trigger, but that is a story for yet another day. There are a lot of things that we have in store for you, but unfortunately, we cannot dish all of them out. And that's why we are together on a daily basis, Monday to Friday, to just rub minds and see how we can take advantage. Your analysis might also be the same with mine, and our analysis could also be the same with yours as well. And then it shows that, oh, so we are both seeing the same thing. That could easily instill and build confidence in ourselves, right? Okay, great. And you said thank you. Awesome. Right, we're going to be running up now as the next big thing is for the 2:30 news coming out for the high impact news, by the way. I need to add that part there, coming out by 2:30 p.m. and that's for the US dollar. We have the retail sales and the Empire State Manufacturing Index, which of course, that's about four key data, that's about 1, 2, 3 key data now coming in for the calendar, right? So we need to be careful. Take note of the timing, as volatility can easily be introduced to the market, and then we know the rest. We talked about that earlier as well. Okay, any other question from us, guys? You remember, questions are good, and if no questions, no problem. Please, if you have not joined the Telegram group, do the needful, join the Telegram group now. Come on board and then learn some more. So these charts that we've talked about here, we will also be posting them, right? We'll post the before, the during, and the after. We have another group for that, which is more or less the signals group based on the live trading analysis sessions as well, right? Where it's more or less like a hands-on, okay? No comments here from anybody. If no comment, then I'd like to say thank you, guys. It has indeed been a good one. And please, please trade with caution. It's always good for your money to be in your own account than to be in another person's account. Do not just rush into the market, because if you rush in, more or less you're going to be rushing out at the end of the day. So you take your time gradually, you are in, and then you do the needful, set your parameters properly, you're observant, you are trading. First of all, you are trading based on your plan, and then you are keeping records on your journal, because your journal is what is going to help you to grow tremendously, right? Okay, thank you, guys. Thank you, Stephen Ojo. Thank you, Eric Faber. Thank you, everybody, for joining us for today. Please join the Telegram group. We're going to also be posting comments there. We'll be posting charts, analyses, and so on there that would help everybody to come up to speed the more, right? So thank you, guys. It has been a good one. Thank you. Don't forget, please, guys, participate more. Thank you, Arabi Salah, Tim Tope. Thank you, guys. Participate more, right? So that we can answer your question, and then we would see the result ourselves. We are going to see the results from the chat. From the ones that I've drawn, I'm sure if you have a like a picture that you have drawn, right? Or maybe you duplicated your own chart as that. But let's pay attention to how it goes, and then of course you will see yourself graduate to the next level of consistency. Okay, thank you, Basoyo. Thank you, guys. Thank you. And enjoy the rest of the day. Trade safely. Please pay attention to the news period so that you don't get in the middle of it and then have losses or have big losses and so on. Thank you, guys. Enjoy the rest of the day, and goodbye for now. Cheers.